Some people don't celebrate their birthday. They don't hate it. They don't complain about it. They just quietly let it pass, like it doesn't mean anything. No plans, no countdown, no real acknowledgement. And if you ask them why, they'll say, it's just another day. But that answer is rarely the full truth. Because birthdays aren't just dates, they're moments where attention naturally turns toward you. And for some people, that's exactly what they've learned to avoid. When you were younger, your birthday felt automatic. You didn't question it. You didn't wonder who would remember or whether it would feel special. You just assumed it would. But over time, that certainty fades. You start noticing things. Who shows up? Who forgets? Who puts in effort and who doesn't? And once you see that clearly, it's hard to unsee. So something in you adjusts. You lower the importance of the day. Quietly. Gradually. Until one day, you're the person saying, I don't really celebrate my birthday anymore. And it sounds like maturity, but a lot of the time it's protection. Because expecting nothing feels safer than being disappointed. If you don't make it important, no one can ruin it. If you act like it doesn't matter, it won't sting when it's overlooked. And over time, that becomes your default. What's interesting is that people who skip their birthdays are often the ones who care the most about other people's. They remember, they check in, they make the effort, but when it comes to themselves, they go quiet. They don't remind anyone. They don't ask for anything. And then they tell themselves they don't need it. But even then, something small still happens in the background. You notice who reaches out without being prompted. You notice who says nothing at all. You don't react, but you register it. Because no matter how independent you become, a part of you still wants to feel remembered. That's the part most people don't talk about. Skipping your birthday doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you've learned to care more quietly. There's also another layer to it. Birthdays force you to confront time. Whether you celebrate or not, the day still marks something. Another year gone. And even if you don't say it out loud, your mind asks a simple question. Am I where I thought I'd be by now? Sometimes the answer feels good. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, turning the day into a celebration can feel off. So instead, you treat it like nothing. You go through your routine and move on. There's also the fact that the more self-reliant you become, the harder it is to receive. You get used to being the one who shows up for everyone else, the one who doesn't need much. And over time, being the center of attention starts to feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, so you downplay it. You let it pass. But here's the contradiction. You can be independent and still want to be remembered. You can be low-key and still want someone to make an effort. You can treat it like a normal day and still feel something about it. Because at its core, a birthday isn't about parties or attention. It's about recognition. Not for what you've achieved, but for existing, for making it through another year. And that kind of recognition doesn't have to be loud to matter. Sometimes it's just a simple message, something small but genuine. So if you're someone who skips their birthday, it doesn't mean you're cold or detached. It might mean you've learned to protect your expectations. It might mean you've outgrown certain kinds of celebration. Or maybe you're still figuring out what the day means now. But maybe the answer isn't to ignore it completely. And it's not to force it into something it no longer feels like. Maybe it's something quieter. A small pause. A moment to acknowledge that time moved forward. And so did you. Because even if you don't celebrate it out loud, your life is still something worth recognizing. And that doesn't need an audience to be real.